Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shelby, aka 88 Fox. Today we are working on the 88 Fox, but I'm doing a little something different. So last time I talked to y'all, I said that this is going to go to another shop and I was going to have them do the turbo piping, but I decided I just wanted to do it myself, so I went and bought kid 3-inch turbo piping with some bins and stuff already in them, a universal quote-unquote kit, and we're going to try to do it ourselves. So I'm not a very good welder. I don't have a TIG welder, but I do have a MIG welder right over there, and well, another one right there. That's my Miller. You know, it's funny, that's Miller, that's Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is working, Miller not so much. But anyways, I got this Harbor Freight titanium spool gun that's literally made for using aluminum, so MIG weld. 16 gauge to 1/4 inch aluminum. Supposed to be really easy. Watched a couple of YouTube videos regarding it, so we're gonna try that route. If not, we're gonna go with the kind of brazing aluma weld scenario. So we're experimenting today and every day, really. But process is gonna be simple. So you see down here where the red little clamp is, so that's going to be my inlet, or I guess technically it'd be outlet, going from the intercooler up through this direction and then feeding up into here. So this is not the final version of this. This is just something that's on there temporarily. I'm waiting for a oval to 3-inch silicone coupler to come from On3 Performance, but apparently they're back ordered, so I might have to figure something else out. But for now, this is just sitting here. So what I think I'm gonna do is just a 90-degree, just as short as I can make it, send it up this way, and then try to see how few bends I can put in it to get it right. If it all works out well, I won't really have to do much welding at all. This is the original intake pipe that came with this kit. If you've been watching along, you know that I got this whole kit and caboodle for $1,000. So I'm gonna try to see if I can reuse this, because I don't really want to cut this and re-weld this piece on. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I think my new blow-off valve has these couplers, or these welded pieces. I'd have to look, but if I can make this work, I'm going to try to make it work. So I think that there's like the opportunity, if we come up, wait, if we can do a bend down there and bring it like upright in here, in this area, maybe I could, Christ, maybe I could just cut this like that, and then have my, we'll take this boot off, then have it connect right here, and then maybe cut and weld like a 45-degree piece right into here. And then that should take care of that, theoretically. And then the other side, so again, looking at the little red piece right there, what I'll have to do with this side is just U around, and then hopefully hopefully I can just come straight through the bottom of here. If not, I can angle it up and come through the top here, come straight across, and then I'll have to do a 90, a really short 90 right in here. That's kind of why I want to see if it'll go to the bottom, because it'll give me a little bit more to 90. Yeah, and then that will be that. So if you see, I did get my wastegate on there. So one thing that I'm going to have to do before we really get going is I'm going to have to re-fabricate this drain feed line, because, here, let me get some light on the situation, because it is touching down here, and then when I got it all mounted, it kind of kinked this hose a little bit. So I'm going to have to run, I'm going to take this off and then just make a shorter run. It just goes right there. And I think I have a 45-degree, well, maybe that won't work. Okay, never mind. I'm going to shut up. So I'm just going to have to get a little bit shorter hose. Well, I don't know. Maybe 45-degree would work right there. If I bend it out this way, and then it just kind of goes in through there. Yeah, and so not a lot, but a lot more than I know how to do. So we'll figure it out. And then, last but not least, I'm going to have to make a down pipe, whatever you want to call it. It's going to go straight through here. We're going to move all this crap, and it's going to go right there, or right there. I don't know. It's going to go to fender. I don't know if I want a lower fender or upper fender, but it's going to go to the fender. Actually, I mean, I can come straight out with it. Straight out with it and hit, like, right there. I think that'd be cool. Just one 4-inch, I think is what that is. Just come right out there. And then I would like to one day redo the exhaust portion of this, and then maybe have the wastegate flange meet up to there. But I think for now, the wastegate flange is just going to dump to the ground. I don't know if that's the right way, but that's the way it's gonna have to happen for now. So eventually what I'd like to do, rebuild the kit, rebuild the whole setup, and then like to meet the wastegate exhaust up with the regular, or with the down pipe, and then have them both go out. That'd be kind of the goal eventually. But again, this is the first iteration of this car, doing what I wanted to do. And then last but not least, I'm going to have to redo something with that AC delete pulley, because it's not aligned correctly, and as you can see, it already ate part of my belt, so that sucks. But here we are. So yeah, game plan, we're going to start doing some measurements, start doing some cutting, yeah, and then hopefully we'll be able to have a cold side done pretty quickly. Alright, so first connection we want to do is this one down here, and I want to use a 90 to come straight out and then up. So before I take that actual measurement, what I wanted to do is put a silicone coupler on here and bring it all the way over as far as I could, and then mark it. And then I know that these are 3-inch couplers, so like the max amount that I can go over, or so where I'd cut would be like probably right on that 1.5-inch line, right? And so that would be the maximum distance that I could cut over, or over this direction, in order to be able to get this bend in here appropriately, right? So I'll mark it right there, and then I'll be able to cut 1.5 inches over, and then that will leave just this amount, and that's the minimum amount of a 90-degree bend I can make. The reason I don't want to go any more than that is I still have to make this kind of flange on this side of it, and then also you don't want it to be pushed over so far that the coupler can't get a good tight connection. So bring it over as far as it can until it touches, until it just barely starts to bind right there and loosen right there, which you can kind of see, and that's the max point right there. So this will be our first cut. Well, actually first I'm going to measure, but I am pretty sure that is going to be perfect. So cut it right there, and then we'll tape it up to see how it looks. Actually, we might just put the coupler on it just for funsies and see how it looks, and then figure out our next piece. All right, so I have it loosely mounted in here. You can see there's where it comes out, and then there is where the coupler connects to the intercooler. So came out almost perfect, I think. And I got some playroom to wiggle it wherever I want to. And then I think that, again, like I stated earlier, we're gonna try to just go ahead and use this piece some form or fashion to get it to connect. But I want to go ahead and do the other side of the intercooler, which I'm planning on using this U piece for, and I'm going to do the same exact thing, I think. So I'm going to take this silicone coupler, push it in as far as it'll go, which will probably be somewhere around here, mark it, bring it back 1.5 inches, mark that, and then I'm going to see where I'm at as far as eyeballing it. Because what I think that I'm going to be able to do, I'm going to set that over there for now, is I'll be able to connect it right here, and then it'll just loop right over. But I need to make sure that I clear this bar, right? So I think we're good. It's only like 1 inch or 2. So, oh yeah, I know we'll be good. But then I want to bring it out this way. So it should sit in actually a little further once I cut it. It'll probably sit in like right about this area. And then all I got to do is figure out from here to here. So we've got another 90-degree piece that, let's just look real quick. Take this. Oh, I'm gonna put the camera down for just a second. Take this piece out, and then if we're super lucky, let's see exactly, let's just put this on the ground from here. That might be just enough room to be able to mount that 90 directly to that 180, or that 180 loop, and then be able to just plumb it straight in. Of course we'll have to cut this one because it'll probably sit like right here, so we'll have to make that cut. But man, that's going to be so close to perfect, I think. So I might go ahead and measure both of these just to be sure. Measure twice, cut once, instead of just going for it, because if I need to make that just a little bit shorter, like what I'm saying is, if I need this to be just a little bit shorter, instead of cutting all this off, I'm gonna just make this a little bit longer. You get what I'm saying? Make that a little bit longer. The shorter, it'll go further this direction. The longer, it'll go further back. So I got to do some actual measuring here, and then we'll do that, and we might be able to just get this whole turbo side plumbed up without even touching a welder. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so I measured about 50 times and nothing I could do would fit or work right. So went ahead and cut that U as far down as we could. We got it, ended up stopping right there. And then we got this 90-degree going, and here's our gap. So unfortunately, we are gonna have to do some cutting and welding here, but I've already got this other piece from the other 90, and it should just be able to mark it and then weld it right in, and then put a coupler on it, and we call it good. Yeah, and then this whole side of the cold side will be completed. So I think that that's what I'm going to do next. Measure it, cut it, hopefully weld it without any problems, and then try to complete this portion of it, and then we will get back into this part of it. So that's where we're at, that's what we're doing, and hopefully the next time I come back we will have this cut, welded, and put back together. All right, so it's 2 days later, and good news, I got that piece made for the intercooler piping, and yeah, it looks pretty good. So before I show it to you, this is my first time doing any aluminum welding, and I decided to do MIG aluminum welding with a spool gun. I'll show you the setup here. So titanium 170. I could probably go ahead and turn this off. And then here's a spool gun. Now, here's all my like test pieces, right? I was just struggling, right? Then I found out with some Googling that this was not the shit that I needed. So this is ER 5356 aluminum. It's only good for like 5,000 model aluminum, and that's not what this is. So I had to get this, which, shout out Amazon, got it overnight. ER 4043, which is kind of like your general aluminum welding wire. Got that, and then got a couple of stainless steel brushes because I was not doing my stuff correctly. So that was with the old stuff, also trying to figure it all out. And then once I kind of dialed it in, that's roughly what I was left with. It was still burning a little hot through, so I did tone it down and got it to about right there. Yeah, and you can see, like, I don't know, you can see it looks okay. Then execution phase to get that actual piece done. I was a little nervous, but there's the final product, and there's where the weld was. So I grinded it down because I didn't like the product that I had on there, and plus I thought that I had some cold weld on there, which I did. So I had to knock some of that down, then redo it and re-weld it, and also had one hole that I built in there, so I had to fill that in and get that all nice and hunky-dory. But it fits like really good. So there's where it comes. So essentially it comes from out the turbo, goes down through here, goes into the intercooler. Then, part I didn't show you, I did complete the package here. So this is using the old turbo kit setup, blow off valve. As you can see, it's got like chrome plating on it. And then exactly what I said I wouldn't do, I have a silicone 90-degree boot here. Now, you can't fault me for doing this because of two things. One, I don't have any more 90-degree angles, so I gotta order some, which I will. I'm gonna order just another one of these kits because they're pretty nice, pretty cheap. Got them off of eBay. Second thing is, this is not the final version of what's going on here on the throttle body, etc., because this is like, I actually mentioned it earlier in the video. This, I don't like this setup right here, but it's the only thing I got that connects to this throttle body. So what I'm waiting for is from On Through Performance to ship me the oval throttle body to 3-inch adapter, silicone coupler. Once I get that, what I want to try to do, not that I'll be super successful in it, I don't know, actually I'm pretty hopeful. What I want to do from there is just build one piece of tube that goes out, down, and probably kind of swoops into here like this, so we can have more of a normal curvature rather than what we got going on here. But I didn't want to go ahead and make a 90 or order the, I'm ordering it, but I didn't want to go ahead and start welding and fabricating something here when I have something that's going to work just fine without any additional fabrication, just to get it started. So that's my reason, and I'm sticking with it, and y'all can hate me if you want, but that's what it is. So yeah, so the next step in this process, obviously I had to cut a lot of these pipes. Well, at least this one I had to cut, this 90 I had to cut, and then this down here I had to cut as well. So all of those do not have this little lip, this little bead, I don't know what you call it, a rolled bead that's on it. Those are super important to have when you're dealing with any kind of boost pressure or any pressure, because these couplers will slide off at some point in time without them, and then it's going to be when you're in full boost doing a hot run, and then you blow a coupler off. Yeah, it sucks. I've done it before, and not very fun. So and those rollers, they're actually kind of expensive. We do shit on a budget here, and that budget is as cheap as humanly possible, and I'll do it myself. So what we are going to do is, I saw on YouTube, I will actually link it in the description where I found it, but essentially you take this pair of yeah, I don't even know what brand these are, and then you cut it off, and then you do some grinding, and then right there in the middle, that's where your actual bead lip is going to be. And then, so I've seen a couple of these plier hacks for these beads, and they do not look good. The one that the video that I did find that used this exact specific brand of plier, which I will also link in the video description, they looked really good for not being a rolled bead. Yeah, it's going to take a long time to do once I get those pliers cut, but they are going to do the trick. So we're going to do that next. We're going to take all this apart, and we're going to roll those beads the pour way, and then we're going to mount everything up with clamps and see how she looks. So this is what the bead roll looks like using the pliers. That's kind of your factory connector, or factory bead roll. It's definitely not super pretty, but it's gonna work. I mean, that's what we're interested in, is the hump. And this definitely is not like a long-term solution if you're doing a whole mess of bead rolling. Get you a bead roller, because this is labor intensive. It also puts quite the strain on your wrist. But this shall be cleaned up just a little bit more. You can kind of play with it a little bit and kind of bend it around, so that's cool. And then that'll connect to the bottom of the intercooler, and then all I have to do is roll this side, which goes to the outlet of the turbo, and then I have to do the outlet of the intercooler into the intake. And so I've only got 2 more of these to roll, so we're just gonna pound through it real quick, get those 2 rolled, and then we can start bolting things together. Super cool, super cool. So I powered through, got a blister forming on my finger, but I powered through and got all my beads rolled, which is just 3 of them. So now I'm gonna take actually, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and probably get this over here on the lift so that I can pick it up. And I think I still have a little bit of the bumper on this side that I have to cut just a little bit in order to get this to all fit right. So I want to do that and then make sure my connections are on nice and tight and secure. And then I got to swap this whatever VS Racing blow off valve out with, hey look, it's a crypto mining rig, with a On3 Performance blow off valve that I have chilling back here. This is, I think it's called the low profile or whatever. Yeah, so got to get that on. I think that'll work. Ooh, that might be a bigger housing. Let's see. Oh no, that'll work. That'll bolt on. Bolt that on, and then I have no idea how the vacuum lines and all this stuff run, so I'm gonna have to do that too. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But for now, we shall get all of this bolted together and see where we're at. Got everything hooked up except the blow-off valve that I was talking about, but yeah, it was too easy. Everything bolted right on, and finally found a use for my DeWalt 3/8 inch battery ratchet. But yeah, it just barely clears, but I mean, we've got plenty of room here to do what we need to do. Bottom shot, it does hang a little bit lower than the intercooler for the turbo piping, but it's all good, no big deal. I did have to cut just a little bit more of the fender, so before everything gets wrapped up, everything will be coming kind of back out, so I can clean up all this and paint it and do all that good stuff. And then at that point in time, I'll kind of clean up, mold the fender, etc. But yeah, it's the first time that everything's been put in, so all I've really got left is the downpipe, which is going to be fender exit, so it's not even going to be super interesting. Just, and then I think we're going to come out right here, maybe, I don't know, I gotta look, see some pictures and see what I think is cool. Have to do some cleanup on this oil filter line, and then just kind of, oh, and then do the vacuum setup for the wastegate and the blow-off valve, which I have no idea how to do. I don't know, I know there's a reference and bloody, but we've got some extra vacuum hose. So once I Google that and figure out how to do it, we'll get it all wrapped up, and then maybe it can make a, maybe we'll just go right down the road real quick and see if we can make some turbo noises. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's where we're at. So picking back up where we left off, I've got the On3 Performance blow-off valve put in, and I've also got the vacuum hose strung up, goes under here. goes under the shock tower through here, and then goes up to this vacuum tree that I just installed, this On3 Performance vacuum tree. Pretty nice little piece of billet. I gotta get some different screws or some washers put behind there to make it nice, but pretty cool little vacuum tree. Got a manifold vacuum reference, go straight to it, and then be able to come off of everything I need to. Got one going to the fuel pressure regulator that I also got mounted all nice and pretty, and then one going to the map sensor, and then one going to the wastegate, or the blow-off valve. I ordered some additional in 1/8 to 1/4 inch barb fittings for these plugs down here. There's 3 more, and those will be my wastegate reference. So the boost controller will be here tomorrow. Probably just gonna mount it right here, and then what will happen is I will come off of that vacuum tree to the boost controller. Wait, I got to think about this. Okay, the vacuum tree, it'll tee off. One side will go to this bottom port of the wastegate, and then one side will go to the boost controller. And then the other side of the boost controller will go to the top barb of this wastegate. Yeah, and then once that's done, all the vacuum hoses will be done, and then still lacking the downpipe, but I don't know, I guess I'll probably go order that, or maybe take it to an exhaust shop. At least at the bare minimum I'll need the coupler and a band, so I'll get those ordered, and then might just take it to one of the local places and see if they've got any pipe that can be used. I think we're just gonna go right there, right out of the fender. Yeah, but we are getting super close, super close. So I'll check back in a day or two once I get the boost controller in and get the vacuum lines ran, and then we'll go from there. All right, it is a few days later. I've gotten the wastegate, or excuse me, the blow-off valve vacuum lines done, and then got the vacuum lines done for the wastegate. They come up here to this boost controller, which got sitting over here. I think I originally said it was going to sit over there, but I already think that we might have too much vacuum line because I don't have a outlet on my compressor, so we're having to use manifold pressure, which should still be good boost pressure to reference this by. But if not, then I'll end up getting a new housing or tapping a fitting right here in the compressor. That way we can have just a quick bam bam guide or boost reference from the compressor itself. So I know somebody's gonna look at this and just say I've got way too much going on here, but it's going to work, I believe, for what we need now. So let's see. I got the connector built for the boost controller, so pretty nice little weather pack connector that I got here. Got it ran through to where the rest of the engine harness goes, and there's where the leads end up. So I've just got to clean it up, run it through, snake it through here, and then plug it into my MS3 Pro, and then just get it to start monitoring through my tuner studio. So we'll do that here later, but all that's really left is to get the downpipe done. I've got some new stainless steel 3-inch exhaust that's sitting over there, as well as a V-band connector for this turbo. So I think that what I'm gonna do is just end up coming out the bottom side here, depending on how well I can angle this. But I mean, even then, like, I've got a straight shot like right out the top of the fender here. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's see how that would look, where I wouldn't have to do any bending at all, just cut a hole. Good old Amazon stainless. Ugh. So, I mean, well, the fender's in the way, but I think that'd be cool. Just kind of have it come straight out. And it should just come straight out. I mean, it wouldn't need any bending at all. But I do have a pipe bender that I've never used, sitting over here. Let's see. Yeah, there's the 3-inch piece right there. And then I don't know where the actual bender is. Oh, it's right there, sitting on the ground. So I don't know what I want to do. If I want to have it come out here or down here. I kind of think it'd be cool to come out here. We might just do that. Call it a day. That'd be quick, easy. Would just have to weld the V-band on it, cut a hole, and good to rock and roll. And then I'd probably have to support it too, so I'd probably put like a little, put something hanging down here, just weld it to it, and call it nice. Yeah, so we might just do that. I'll have to look, I'll have to think a little bit, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close, getting close. All right, here it is. This is the first part of the downpipe. I got it bolted together here with this V-band clamp. I didn't weld on this outside here, but it is nicely welded on the inside. That clamp just, or that V-band clamp just goes like right over it, and it sits so perfect. Yeah, Evil Energy off of Amazon, freaking awesome fitment. So when I welded it, I actually didn't weld it completely straight, which was perfect because my hole over here for the exterior is not completely straight in line with the turbo. So what was cool is that I just welded it with just enough angle on it accidentally to be able to, I can loosen this up and turn it to where I need to, and I can kind of pivot this end around wherever I need to. So as you can see, like right now, that's perfectly lined up, minus maybe, I mean, a millimeter, but we'll get a little bit more play out of there. I'll get I ordered the, what do you call it, the beauty ring that goes on the outside of the fender. So when I mount that, I'll be able to weld or cut out a little bit more and be able to have a little bit more play with this last piece here. And then I'm just going to clamp those two pieces together with a 3-inch clamp as soon as it gets here. And then that way, in case I ever need to like remove this for whatever reason, the turbo, whatever I need to do, I don't actually have to like pull it out of the fender. I can leave that piece in there, unbolt the clamp, and then disassemble as needed. So I'm extremely happy with this, with the way that turned out. Yeah, and I mean, that was like the best weld I've ever done. period. I'm not a professional welder by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not even a semi-decent welder, but I was laying the beads down on the inside. Man, it looks so good. I'm gonna put a picture of it on Instagram. Professional welders gonna still say it looks like shit, but you know what, I don't care. It looks good for me. This is my shit box, not anybody else's shit box. Freaking stoked. Yeah, definitely got to figure out a solution to the wiring harness here for the headlights and front stuff. Same on this side, so I'll probably tackle this all together one go. Don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but we'll figure it out like we always do. So once I get that clamp in and get this other piece mounted in here, oh, the clamp and the heat wrap should be here at the same time. I'm not going to do anything until I get those two things in. I've got the little turbo boot cover thing that I'll put on, and I'm going to wrap this entire piece of downpipe all the way up until where I'm going to clamp it is going to be heat wrapped, because you know, I mean, this thing is sitting directly in front of the motor. All I got is these little electric fans. I don't think that we're going to be able to expel enough exhaust out of there to keep this motor running cool without that heat wrap on there. Plus it's like 190 in Texas right now, so yeah, do that, wrap it up, get it to where it vents out outside here. I'm gonna cut like whatever this angle is on that piece of pipe so it just looks pretty sitting right out there. I kind of fucked up, kind of messed up, but you know, whatever, we'll figure it out, we'll paint it, we'll do something. But yeah, once that's done, all I got left is just to wire in the boost controller, then put the tuning stuff into my micro squirt, and then I'm going to use those weather pack connections that I did for this one. Look at that. I'm going to use the same weather pack connections that I did for this one for the electric fan. So here's those wires. Here's where they come out. These are just temporary over here, but you know, whatever. And then all I really have left is just figure out some kind of degas bottle. I've got this one right here, but man, I don't know if there's any way that I'm going to be able to mount that. You know what, now that I think about it, well, we might be able to. Let's see. Would everybody hate me if I mounted it outside of the... I don't know, we might find a solution for that after all, but if anything, I might be able to cut it and do some welding on it, and get it to fit somehow, some way. But yeah, damn, we're getting so close. We're getting super close. Super excited. All right, we'll be back. All right, so we got the downpipe built, got it wrapped, got it siliconed. So that's what I was talking about earlier. I wanted to clamp it right there and then have the piece that actually comes out sit out like that. I might actually try to put a different bevel on it later, but I got her out here so I could run it for a little bit and see how she acted. Oh, that doesn't belong there. So sorry if there's background noise, it's pretty windy. I still haven't hooked up the cooling system yet. Didn't run it too long, just ran it for a couple minutes just to hear it. Sounds pretty good. I'll start it up here in just a second. But yeah, it's almost there. So I got to figure out a degas bottle mounting solution. Let's see if we can get it to heat cycle. And then I'm also missing the oil pressure sensor pigtail, so I gotta grab that and then get that in there. And then it's just really a lot of little stuff. So still haven't hooked up the boost control solenoid. I got to do that. Got to do just a lot of cleanup, and then I'll be, yeah, look at that, I'll be tuning it and then making sure that once it heat cycles, we'll be tuning it and then seeing if we can get it out on the streets. But that is a lot of content for this episode, so I am going to go ahead and end it right there and wait till the end so you can hear it run a little bit. But please be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. I don't get many views, so the people that do comment, I do respond. And make sure you follow us on all the other social medias, so TikTok, Instagram, all the things. But yeah, she's looking pretty good, and she's almost ready.